to the Open Scoring MMA podcast. No secrets, no bias, just the real fight game. Let's get ready.
Welcome to Open Scoring MMA. This is episode 32 for July 21st, 2026. Your daily look at what's happening now and next across the world of MMA and UFC. Paddy Pimblett is still riding high after UFC 329, with many in the MMA world talking about his performance. Matt Brown, the veteran fighter, has been vocal praising Paddy for absolutely stealing the show at UFC 329. He called it a stunning performance, especially with what some are calling Conor McGregor's comeback ending in disaster. Brown noted that Pimblett reportedly dispatched Benoit Saint-Denis in under a minute, which was less time than McGregor's fight reportedly lasted, which was just 69 seconds before word is McGregor suffered a significant knee injury. That kind of dominant win, according to Brown, arguably vaulted the baddie into superstar status. It was the co-main event, and Pimblett choked out Saint-Denis in under a minute, sending the T-Mobile Arena into a frenzy. Brown loved the energy, he loved the performance, but here's the kicker. He's still not sold on Paddy as championship material. He's not buying him as a future champion, despite all the hype and the incredible showing. This isn't a new take from Brown. He's been consistent on this point, and it's a sentiment echoed by other retired MMA stars as well. They see the talent, they see the charisma, but they're questioning if he has that championship-level ceiling. It's a fascinating debate, especially after such a dominant win, and it shows that even with a highlight reel finish, some veterans are looking for more than just a single performance to crown a future king. And speaking of that stunning performance, it seems Paddy Pimblett's demolition of Benoit Saint-Denis spooked at least one rival so badly that they've now U-turned on a call-out. We're not naming names here, but the word is out that someone who was previously eager to face the baddie has suddenly gone quiet after seeing what he did in the cage. That's the kind of impact a performance like that can have. It doesn't just win you a fight, it can change the entire landscape of your division by making potential opponents think twice. It's a testament to the power and skill Pimblett displayed, and it only adds to the growing legend of the baddie. Now let's talk about Dana White, because he's been addressing some persistent claims about favorable matchmaking for the UFC's biggest stars. White explicitly rejected the idea that the UFC builds favorable matchups for fighters like Conor McGregor, Paddy Pimblett, Jon Jones, Anderson Silva, or any other major star. He told Middle Easy, and I quote, "Let me tell you what we don't do. Favorable matches," end quote. He went on to say, quote, "Everybody had to fight through their way to the top in the UFC, including Paddy Pimblett, Conor McGregor, Jon Jones, Anderson Silva, and the list goes on," end quote. This is Dana pushing back hard against the narrative that the UFC protects its cash cows. He's essentially saying that every fighter, no matter how big a draw, earns their spot and their opponents. It's a strong statement from the boss, and it aims to reinforce the idea that the UFC is a meritocracy, even for its biggest names. But the Paddy Pimblett news doesn't stop there. There's a whole saga unfolding around a recent troll job that seems to have backfired a little. The baddie recently took a dig at his arch-rival Ilia Topuria, claiming he purchased Topuria's UFC White House stool. He even posted on Instagram saying he dropped $13,700 on a UFC auction site to buy the stool Topuria sat on after losing his lightweight title to Justin Gaethje at UFC Freedom 250. This was the stool Topuria slumped on after the fight, a real moment of defeat, and Paddy was trying to rub salt in the wound. He called it a provocative chapter in their rivalry. However, it turns out Paddy's latest troll job just fell apart. A woman named Jessica, who identifies as an Ilia Topuria fan, has come forward claiming she bought the stool, not Paddy Pimblett. She says she purchased Topuria's UFC Freedom 250 red stool to keep it from being used against him, and she's even shown receipt screens in a new video to back up her claim. So, it looks like Paddy was caught red-handed, and his attempt to get under Topuria's skin with this particular move has been debunked by a super fan. It's a funny twist in their ongoing beef, and it just goes to show that in the world of MMA, you got to be careful with your trash talk, especially when there are dedicated fans out there ready to call your bluff. Moving on to other divisions, Walter Walker isn't holding back when it comes to his heavyweight counterparts. He's not scared of small Josh Hokett and seems completely unimpressed by Gable Stevenson's UFC debut. Walker, who's reportedly returning to the cage at UFC Abu Dhabi to battle Thomas Peterson, told MMA Fighting that he'd gladly take on either Hokit or Stevenson. He's coming off 4 straight heel hook finishes in the octagon, so he's got some serious momentum and confidence. It's clear he doesn't see them as big threats in the heavyweight division, and he's ready to take on all comers. That's the kind of fighting spirit you love to see, especially in the heavyweight division where one punch can change everything. And speaking of future champions, Colby Covington has been singing the praises of Arman Tsarukyan. Following Tsarukyan's RAF 11 match, Covington stated, quote, "You're going to be the UFC lightweight champ," end quote. That's high praise coming from a former interim champion like Covington, and it certainly adds to the buzz around Tsarukyan. He's been on a tear, and to have someone like Colby, who knows what it takes to get to the top, publicly declare him a future champion speaks volumes about his potential. The lightweight division is absolutely stacked, but Tsarukyan is definitely a name to watch. Now let's pivot to some former champions. A former UFC bantamweight champion believes Conor McGregor may not be Mystic Mac anymore. This former champ thinks McGregor will never return to his top level, a sentiment that's gaining traction after his recent injury and the long layoff. It's a tough pill to swallow for McGregor fans, but the reality is that time, injuries, and inactivity can take a toll on even the greatest fighters. The question of whether we'll ever see the old Mystic Mac again is a big one, and it's clear that not everyone in the fight game is optimistic. Nora, we've been talking about Paddy Pimblett a lot today, and the model has been pretty consistent on him. What's your read on this whole championship material debate? Matt Brown isn't sold, but the guy just put on a clinic.
Duke, the model's data on Pimblett is still developing, given his relatively fewer high-level bouts. While his performance against St. Denis was undeniably impressive, the system doesn't yet project him as a dominant force against the top 5 in the lightweight division. It's not a knock on his skill, but rather a reflection of the depth of talent at the very top.
So the eye test says superstar, but the numbers say pump the brakes a little. I mean, he's got the charisma, the finishes, the crowd behind him. That's got to count for something, right?
Charisma and fan engagement are immeasurable by our current algorithms, Duke. They certainly contribute to his market value and potential for big fights. However, for championship material, we're looking at sustained performance against elite wrestlers, high-level strikers, and fighters with exceptional fight IQ. The data points for those matchups are still accumulating.
Fair enough. It's hard to quantify that it factor. But speaking of numbers, let's get to our OSM pick. What's the system telling us for Magomed Zainakov versus Damian Rizapecki?
For Magomed Zainakov versus Damian Rizapecki, our system is picking Magomed Zainakov to win. We've got him at approximately 79%, which is higher than the betting line's implied 73%. This is a value pick for us, and our confidence is strong. The top reasons are that form favors Zainakov, and the style matchup also favors Zainakov.
79%, that's a solid call. Form and style, 2 big factors. I like it when the model sees value where the market might be a little hesitant. That's our edge right there.
Indeed, the data indicates a clear advantage in those areas, making Zainakov a strong play according to our analysis.
And in other news, former UFC strawweight champion Zhang Weili recently underwent a stunning new makeover that left fight fans absolutely shook. She shared a video of her new look on Instagram, and the transformation was so dramatic that some fans were even insisting the results were AI generated. Zhang herself clarified, telling MMA Mania, quote, "There was a professional makeup artist who taught me to apply makeup," end quote. So, no AI involved, just a talented makeup artist. It's always interesting to see fighters outside the cage, and Zhang's new look definitely got people talking. It just goes to show that these athletes are more than just their fighting personas. That's all for today's Open Scoring MMA. We'll be back tomorrow with more news and analysis from the world of mixed martial arts. Stay safe, and we'll catch you then. Before you go, 2 quick things. Check out our free fight tracker at tracker.openscoringmma.com. With every upcoming UFC and PFL card, live odds, and where to watch, all in one place. And follow us on YouTube. Just search Open Scoring MMA for breaking news alerts, fight breakdowns, and videos you won't get here on the feed. That's it for today's Open Scoring MMA. Keep your hands up, and we'll see you next time.